Have you ever had one of those moments where something happens so perfectly timed, makes you pause and think, wait a minute, that can't be a coincidence? Maybe you're thinking about someone you haven't spoken to in years and boom, they text you out of the blue. Or maybe you're wrestling with a question and you open a random book to a page that answers it almost word for word. Maybe you keep seeing the same number over and over, 111, 222, 333. Cc's. Reality is trying to send you a message. Now, most people brush these things off. They think that's weird and move on. But what if those moments aren't just weird? What if there are clues, breadcrumbs, and a trail being left for you by something much bigger than chance? Today, we're diving deep into the truth behind synchronicities, the real reason they happen, what they actually mean, and how you can use them to align your life with something far greater than logic alone can explain. Now, let's start with the big question. If synchronicities aren't random, then what are they? See, we're raised to believe that reality is just this big, cold machine, a series of cause and effect sequences, random chance, and physical rules. But synchronicities crack that illusion. They reveal that reality might be something more, kind of responsive, intelligent web that reacts to your thoughts, emotions, and even your energy. When you start noticing these patterns, it's like waking up from a dream. Suddenly, you realize that maybe you're not just a passenger in life. Maybe you're also the driver. Let's break this down. What is a synchronicity? Really? Psychologist Carl Jung, the guy who gave us terms like the shadow and collective unconscious, was the one who coined the term synchronicity. He defined it as a meaningful coincidence, an event that defies logical explanation, but is deeply significant to the person experiencing it. These aren't just random moments. They seem to carry personal messages, signals, and nudges that are impossible to ignore. And Jung wasn't just speculating. He saw it happen in therapy sessions, in his personal life, in case after case where events would line up with a person's inner world in ways that couldn't be explained by chance alone. But it turns out, Jung wasn't alone in thinking this. For centuries, spiritual traditions all over the world have pointed to this deeper intelligence. In Eastern philosophy, they call it karma. In mystical teachings, it's divine timing. In quantum physics, there's a concept called non-locality, the idea that everything is connected beyond space and time. So when you experience a synchronicity, when something shows up in your life at the exact right moment, may not be random at all. It might be part of this deeper design, this hidden architecture of reality. Asterisk, asterisk. And here's where it gets really interesting. Synchronicities don't just happen out of nowhere. They actually become more frequent the more you notice them. It's like reality starts responding to your awareness. Why? Because your mind isn't just observing reality. It's shaping it. Modern neuroscience backs this up. There's a part of your brain called the reticular activating system, more RAS for short. Think of it like a mental filter. It decides what information actually makes it to your conscious awareness. Ever bought a new car and then suddenly you see that exact model everywhere? That's your RAS at work. The cars were always there, you just weren't tuned into them before. The same thing happens with synchronicities. When you start believing in them, expecting them, looking for them, your brain starts noticing patterns and connections that were always there but filtered out. But it goes deeper than just brain wiring. Quantum physics shows us that observation literally affects reality. The famous double-slit experiment proved that particles behave differently depending on whether they're being watched. That's huge. It means that the universe might actually respond to consciousness. And that brings us to the law of vibration. In metaphysical teachings, everything in the universe, every thought, every emotion is energy vibrating at a specific frequency. Your thoughts and feelings aren't just inside your head, they radiate out like a signal. When you're stuck in fear or lack, you're emitting a low vibration. And guess what? Start attracting more experiences that match that frequency. But when you start aligning with higher states, gratitude, clarity, Curiosity, you shift. The signal, you start noticing synchronicities because your vibration is attuned to them. It's like tuning a radio. If you're on the wrong frequency, you get static. But once you dial into the right one, the music comes in clearly. Synchronicities are the music of the universe. Tuning into them requires a shift in consciousness. So why do some people experience them constantly, while others never seem to? It comes down to awareness, alignment, and belief. Most people are so conditioned by logic, routine, and materialism that they filter out anything that doesn't fit that worldview. When something strange or meaningful happens, they call it a coincidence and move on. They're like someone sitting in a room full of radio waves with no receiver. They can't hear the signal because they're not tuned in. But people who do experience synchronicities aren't necessarily special. They've just trained their minds to notice them. They're open, curious, intuitive, and most importantly, they trust what they feel. They don't need everything to be proven or explained before they follow a nudge. And the moment you start following those nudges, reality starts to rearrange itself. This is where the subconscious comes in. Your conscious mind is dealing with the present moment tasks, conversations, decisions, but your subconscious is processing way more, all the time. It's picking up on symbols, hidden connections, patterns, and when you set an intention, it starts aligning things behind the scenes. Let's say you're looking for a new direction in life. You're feeling stuck. You start thinking, I just want some kind of sign about what to do next. Then, out of nowhere, you keep seeing the same word everywhere. Or someone brings up a book you've never heard of, but it resonates. Or you run into someone who ends up introducing you to your next opportunity. This is your subconscious doing the heavy lifting while the universe mirrors that effort. And here's what skeptics will say. It's just selective attention. But here's the thing: why do these moments carry such deep personal meaning? Why do they show up at the exact time you need them, not a moment before or after? Why do they line up with your inner experience, not just some random outer event? Because they're not random, they're signals, they're invitations. The universe saying, yes, pay attention. But here's the catch. Noticing synchronicities is just the beginning. The real magic happens when you start responding to them. So, let's go deeper, because recognizing synchronicities is only step 1. The next step is responding to them. This is where most people get stuck. They notice the signs, but they don't trust them. They second guess. They wait for more proof. They think, well, that's weird, but I probably imagined it. And then they just go back to living like nothing happened. But here's the truth. Synchronicities are not just pretty patterns to admire. They are doorways. They are nudges from reality itself, guiding you toward your next step. And the moment you start treating them as real, taking action based on what they reveal, that's when your life starts to shift in incredible ways. Let's talk about how these signs show up, because they usually appear in 3 main forms. First, repeating numbers. We've all seen them. 1111, 222, 444. And no, it's not just your brain playing tricks on you. Numbers carry vibration. In ancient traditions like numerology and sacred geometry, numbers were seen as the building blocks of reality, codes of energy. So when you keep seeing the same number sequence, it's not random. It's a signal, a checkpoint, a confirmation that something is shifting in your field. Pay close attention to what you're thinking or feeling the moment those numbers appear. What question is on your mind? What decision are you considering? Those numbers are not separate from your thoughts. They're responding to them. Second, symbols and meaningful encounters. Sometimes the universe speaks through objects, animals, words, or even songs. You're thinking about making a change, and suddenly a song comes on with lyrics that speak directly to your situation. You keep hearing the same phrase from different people in different places. You see an animal that holds personal meaning cross your path again and again. These are not random events, they're symbolic. And they often appear when you're about to make an important choice. The key is this: if it feels significant, it is. Don't overanalyze. Trust your internal response. That feeling is your intuition telling you that there's something here for you. Third, unlikely events and perfect timing. This is when things line up so precisely, it almost feels surreal. You're about to give up on a dream, and out of nowhere, the right opportunity shows up. You need help, and suddenly the right person appears. Something you've been thinking about suddenly happens in real life. This is the universe showing you that you're in alignment. And the more you pay attention to this kind of timing, the more it shows up. Begin to flow with life instead of forcing your way through it. Now, here's how you decode these synchronicities when they happen. Ask better questions. When a synchronicity shows up, don't just say, "That's cool." Pause and reflect. Ask yourself, what was I thinking or feeling right before this happened? What question have I been wrestling with? Is this confirming something I already suspected? Is this challenging me to do something I've been avoiding? Has this kind of sign appeared before? The more you reflect, the more insight you'll receive. But don't stop there. Start a synchronicity journal. This is one of the most powerful tools you can use. Anytime something unusual, meaningful, or perfectly timed happens, write it down. Date it. Describe how it made you feel. What you were thinking about. What decision you were facing. Over time, you'll start to see clear patterns forming. You'll notice repeated themes. You'll realize the universe has been speaking to you all along. It's just that you weren't listening closely enough. And when you track these patterns, two amazing things happen. You strengthen your awareness. You increase the frequency of synchronicities. Yes, you actually attract more synchronicities by paying attention to the ones you already receive. It's like tuning a signal. The more you lock onto it, the clearer it gets. But this brings us to the real heart of it. Recognition isn't enough. You have to act. That repeating number. That phrase you keep hearing. That moment of perfect timing. Those are not just cool stories to tell your friends. They are invitations. And the universe is waiting for your response. Let's be real. This is where most people fall off. They see the signs, they feel the alignment, but they hesitate. Get scared. They think, what if I'm wrong? What if I'm just imagining it? And so they wait. But here's the secret that changes everything. The universe responds to movement. When you follow a sign, when you trust your intuition and take a step forward, you strengthen the connection. You reinforce the flow. And that flow gets stronger, louder, faster. You start to live in sync with the current of life instead of fighting against it. It's like walking through a series of doors. One opens, you walk through. Another appears. You walk through that one. Eventually, you look back and realize that those doors led you to exactly where you were meant to be something you never could have planned with logic alone. This is what people mean when they talk about being in flow. Life just seems to cooperate. Things fall into place. You meet the right people. The timing is uncanny. And it's not because you're lucky. It's because you're aligned. So how do you consciously create more of this in your life? How do you actually attract synchronicities instead of just hoping they'll show up? It comes down to 3 steps. 1. Set a clear intention. Synchronicities respond to clarity. The more specific your thoughts and desires, the more clearly the universe can mirror them. Back to you. Ask for signs. Seriously. Ask out loud or in your journal. Show me a sign that I'm on the right path. Reveal the next step toward my purpose. Bring me the people, opportunities, and messages that are meant for me. Then let go of how the answer comes. The universe doesn't speak in straightforward instructions. It speaks in symbols, timing, emotions, and serendipity. Your job is to stay open and curious too. Align your energy. This part is crucial. Your energetic state is like your frequency. If you're stressed out, filled with doubt, or stuck in fear, you block the flow. Your perception narrows. Synchronicities stop showing up because your energy isn't receptive. But when you shift into trust, presence and gratitude, your frequency rises. Your awareness expands. Suddenly, the signs are everywhere. And if you've ever had a period in your life where everything just seemed to click, where things worked out with almost no effort, you weren't just lucky. You were aligned. 3. Take aligned action. This is where you move from magic to transformation. When the signs show up packed, don't wait for absolute certainty. Don't ask for 5 more confirmations. Follow the nudge, because the more you act on synchronicity, the more powerful it becomes. It's like a feedback loop. You notice, you act. The universe responds, and the cycle continues. And over time, you begin to live in a totally different state of life, where synchronicities are no longer rare surprises. They become your new normal. Now that you know how synchronicities work and how to attract them, here's the most important question you can ask yourself. What will I do with this knowledge? Because here's the thing most people won't do. Anything. They'll hear everything we've talked about so far, nod their heads, maybe even feel inspired, but then go right back to their usual patterns. They'll notice a synchronicity repeating number, a chance encounter, a moment of perfect timing, and they'll get that little chill up their spine, that sense of, whoa, that meant something. But then they'll shrug it off. They'll doubt it. They'll overthink. They'll convince themselves it was just coincidence, just their imagination, and they'll go back to waiting for more proof, for more signs, for more certainty before they make a move. But here's the truth that most people miss. Certainty doesn't come before action. It comes after it. You don't get to feel 100% sure and then step into the unknown. You have to step first. You have to move. You have to trust. The system we've grown up in school. Media culture has trained us to ignore signs like this. It's trained us to value logic over intuition, facts over feeling, predictability over potential. We've been conditioned to believe that if we can't explain it, it's not real. But now you know better. Now you understand that reality is not random. It's not cold. It's not disconnected. It's alive. It's intelligent. It's responsive. And more than that, you are part of that intelligence. You're not just a passenger on this ride. You're a co-creator. Your thoughts, your emotions, your decisions. They shape your path. They tune your frequency. They determine what you notice, what you attract, and how reality responds to you. So, what does that mean practically? It means synchronicities are not happening to you. They're happening for you. Every repeating number, every perfectly timed conversation, every strange alignment that makes you stop and wonder, it's all communication. It's all guidance, but it's up to you to listen, because synchronicities are more than just signs. They're invitations to shift, to trust, to step into something new, to leave behind the mindset of control and doubt, and step into a reality that is responsive, fluid, and alive. So let me say this clearly. If you've been getting signs, if life has been nudging you in a certain direction, if you've been feeling a pull toward something new, even if it doesn't make logical sense, asterisk, stop ignoring it. Because the universe speaks in whispers at first. A small sign here, feeling there, a moment that feels just a bit too perfect. But if you keep brushing those signs off, if you keep asking for proof and then ignoring the answer, the signs will fade. They'll get quieter. The connection weakens, and eventually, you go back to feeling stuck, unclear, disconnected. But if you start paying attention, if you acknowledge the signs, trust your intuition, and act on the guidance, everything changes. The signs get louder. The synchronicities get stronger. The flow picks up. And life starts to feel like it's helping you, not testing you. You start to meet people at the perfect time. Opportunities show up exactly when you need them. Solutions appear out of nowhere, and you begin to realize this isn't just random luck. This is alignment. It's not about forcing things to happen. It's about cooperating with something bigger than you, something that wants to guide you, support you, and help you grow into the version of yourself you were always meant to be. That version of you doesn't second guess. That version of you doesn't dismiss the signs. That version of you follows the nudges, takes the leap, and trusts the process. Because here's the most powerful part of all this. The more you trust synchronicities, the more they trust you. The more you act, the more the universe acts with you. This is how people step into what looks like effortless success. They're not forcing anything. They're aligned. And alignment is magnetic. So let's bring it all together. Here's what you can start doing today to step into that aligned version of you. 1. Ask for signs. Be specific. Set a clear intention. Then open your awareness and trust that the answers will come in their own way and in their own timing too. Raise your frequency. Your vibration is the channel. Keep it clean and open through mindfulness, gratitude, and presence. The more elevated your energy, the more clearly the signs come through. 3. Track your synchronicities. Start a journal. Write them down. Reflect on what they might mean. Look for patterns. You'll be amazed at what starts to reveal itself. 4. Take action, even if you're unsure, even if it feels risky, even if your logical mind is screaming at you. The universe rewards movement. Follow the signs and doors will open. And finally, 5. Stay connected. This path isn't a one-time thing. It's a way of living, a way of being. And once you commit to it, you'll begin to see the world differently, more alive, more magical, more meaningful. So the question is, will you commit? Will you choose to stay awake, to stay connected, to live in alignment with something deeper, something real? Because this isn't just a philosophy. This is a practice, a relationship. And like any relationship, the more you show up for it, the more it shows up for you. And if this message hit home for you, you felt those little chills, that sense of this was meant for me, then it probably was. It's not by accident that you're watching this. It's not random that these words are landing exactly when they are. So don't ignore it. Let this be your confirmation. Let this be your invitation. Let this be the moment you stop second-guessing and start trusting. The signs are already here. The synchronicities are already happening. And now, it's your turn to follow them. If this video resonated with you, drop a comment and say, I understood it. And if you're ready to dive deeper into how synchronicities really work, how to consciously use them to shape your life, check out the link in the description and join us inside Insights Academy. You'll also get the free Keelian ebook when you sign up, because this is just the beginning. And the signs, they're only going to get louder.